It's my privilege to be with you tonight. And we're actually, well, tonight where I am, tomorrow where you are, yesterday where other people are, wherever you are, we are all together in this moment, and that's the essential thing, which is really cool. We're in the month of Elul. That's the Hebrew month that always precedes the Jewish New Year, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But I wanted to start off with a melody, and actually it's a melody that has no words. In Hebrew, the name for that wordless melody is nigun, N-I-G-G-U-N. And it's really, it can be song, it can be melody. So I'd like to sing it with you and for you. It's a melody that has become associated with, at least in our congregation here in Philadelphia, Beth Am Israel, the house of Israel, the house of the people of Israel is what it means in English. We sing this melody throughout this season, what's called the penitential season, or the season that precedes the high holidays and carries all the way through. It's really 60 days of deep introspection and coming together in community and a lot of prayer and singing. Appreciate so much you all taking time out of what I'm sure is very busy times in each of our lives to carve out this space for yourselves and to do it together. So as I said when I began, this is the Hebrew month of Elul, and Elul is four Hebrew letters, an aleph, lamed, vav, lamed, Elul. There's a lot of teachings about the significance of this month preceding the Jewish New Year, which begins on October 3rd, I believe. I probably should know that since I'm leading the services, but never mind. I will confirm that. But, but I know we're in the month of Elul for a couple reasons. One, it's during the month of Elul that we sound the shofar, which I will do at the end. In fact, I can just show you. This is the ram's horn. And if you've never heard it blown, you're going to hear it as we get towards the end of our time together. It's meant to be a wake-up call, literally an alarm. And there's a lot of different significance to what that ram's horn meant biblically and then throughout Jewish history. The month of Elul, and I'm going to read from a book that I have bought many years ago. It's called 60 Days, let me get that, A Spiritual Guide to the High Holy Days. So 60 days, we often, even many Jewish people think and understand that the high holidays are 3 days. The Jewish New Year, which has always a 2-day New Year, and then a week later, the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. And within those 3 days, most Jewish people show up to the synagogue for about an hour each day. And of that hour, they're paying attention for about 20 minutes. And of that, but there's actually this beautiful opening of possibility if you extend not just those 3 days, but from the beginning of the month of Elul, which began 12 days ago, all the way through that high holiday season. So those 60 days are encompassed in accounting, if you will, but also with each day, there's a significance in a way you can kind of bring out greater meaning. So I want to read from Rabbi Isaacson's book, the Kabbalah, that is the mystical teachings that were created in the 1400s in Israel, in a town called Tzfat or Safed. The Kabbalah suggests that the biggest challenge for us human beings is to maintain our individuality and at the same time have a relationship with God. I'll read that again. The Kabbalah suggests that the biggest challenge for us human beings is to maintain our individuality and at the same time have a relationship with God. So how do we do that? And he offers a series of teachings and possibilities, but I want to focus on one of them. We can do this, that is to say, we can maintain this relationship, this individuality and finding God, by acting like the holy beings that we are. It means being compassionate, because God is compassionate. It means being patient, kind, just, loving, creative. When we become holy like God, we connect with God. And so he asks a question, and he says, do you want to connect to the divine image within you? Is being holy a goal in your life? How often do your actions approach holiness? So we'll just take a moment just of quiet, and then I'll offer another melody connected with this season. But just to think about those questions, and I'll read them again. Do you want to connect to the divine image within you? Is being holy a goal in your life? How often do your actions approach holiness? So let's just take a few moments, get comfortable, breathe. It's a prayer written by Rabbi Rami Shapiro called "We Are Loved by an Unending Love." It's based on the evening prayer, Ahavat Olam, love of the world, or a timeless, endless love, if you will. Ahavat Olam. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves. We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting. We are loved by an unending love. We are loved by an unending love. Embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are the arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. 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 Ooh, ooh, We are loved by an unending love. We are loved by an unending love. During the month of Elul, so beginning about 12 days ago, all the way through to the very, very end of this season. So it'll be from now until the end of October, basically, middle of October. We recite special prayers. And depending on your practice and which flavor of Jewish you do, some of the prayers are quite long, some of them are short, some of them, it depends. I'm appreciating your comments there. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, everybody. One of the prayers, I'm going to offer it right now, is a prayer from Psalms. And the English says, there's one thing that I ask of you, Adonai, Divine One, This is it. This is what I'm seeking. I want to dwell in your house all the days of my life. I want to be with you. And I want you, God, to be with me. So as I sing this with you, for you, I invite you to think about a question. If you could ask God one question and get an answer, what would that be? What would that question be? For this psalmist, he wants to, it's almost a plea, I want to be with you, God, all my life, and I want you to be with me, to be with you in your house. שאלתי מאדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש, אחת שאלתי מאדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש. שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי, לחזות בנועם אדוני וזמר בהיכלו, לחזות בנועם אדוני, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. אחת שאלתי מאדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה אבקש. So I want to amend my invitation from a moment ago. I asked you, what question would you ask God? And that's legit. Nothing wrong with that. But I realized that as I was singing the prayer, that it's really not, hey, God, I have a question for you. It's, God, I need something from you. I need you to fulfill this thing for me. So I invite you to think about it. It could be about you personally, some aspect of yourself where you need, God to be with you. Or maybe it's your family or someone close to you. Or maybe it's a friend who could really use a little G-O-D in their life. Maybe it's a community, local, near or far, that really could use a bit of divine support. All of that, I think, is embodied in this prayer. One thing, I ask you, Adonai, to be with you all of my life. want to spend a moment talking about this ram's horn. So as many of you may know, this ram's horn and its significance both each day of this month of Elul, this month that precedes the high holidays, and then on the Jewish New Year itself, we will blow the shofar 100 blasts in different patterns, which I'll demonstrate in a moment. And each pattern is meant to evoke some different aspect of ourself, to alert us or wake us up to different parts of ourselves that may have been asleep, or we may have been ignoring or neglecting. But now, in this season, maybe this time when the shofar is sounded, when the ram's horn is sounded, we're going to actually do that thing that we've avoided doing, or that conversation we've avoided, or that change. It's really hard. I don't have to tell you. And the ram's horn first appears in the Torah, in the Old Testament, right? When Abraham is about to sacrifice Isaac. But instead, the angel stops Abraham and says, hey, you passed the test. Right over there, remember I said there's going to be a sacrifice? It's right over there in that thicket. And that's one of the places where that ram's horn comes from. In other words, that idea that this ram is going to connect us with our faith. And all these thousands of years later, all over the world, every day in certain communities, and certainly on the high holidays, you're going to hear this blast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up, I'm going to stand up. And this is the little fun fact about the ram's horn. The bigger, you can imagine the size of the ram to carry this around. But the larger the ram's horn is, the easier it is to actually get a sound out of. So this is going to be relatively easy. I have practiced this. This is not my first time. Hopefully I'll get a good sound out. There are 3 different blasts that you're going to hear, 4 actually. One is tkiah, one is teruah, one is shvarim, which means broken, and one is the tkiah gedolah, the great blast. Tkiah means blast, basically. All right, here we go. Before each blast, I'm going to say the sound. And if you're ever in a synagogue, usually there's someone calling the sound and then someone who actually blows the shofar. So let me get you a good angle here. Okay, here we go. Tekiah. Teruah. Shvarim. I'll get the big one. Don't worry. Here we go. Tkiah Gedolah, the great blast. Thank you. Show of hands, where you can put it. How many of you have heard, or was that your first time hearing the blast of the ram's horn? All right. I need a little more practice, but I'll get it. Let's close together as our time's coming to an end in a moment or two. Again, thank you, Margaret, for including me and inviting me. Thanks to all of you for being here. I hope this has been a meaningful half hour to spend together. And whether it's the beginning of your day or the end of your day, a way to think about holiness and about love and about how we can really bring that into our world. Then we're going to start or conclude as we started with this wordless melody. I invite you, if you're feeling like it, to sing along. I know you're all muted, but I can see you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Have a good week.